Let's get to that GDP number again. Really strong growth in the second quarter. That's July through September, an annualized growth rate of 33.1%. That is strong. Look who's here to celebrate that number, and I'm sure he will. Larry Kudlow, Council of Economic Council Director. All right, Larry, earlier, I know you want to talk about that third quarter. It was really, really strong. But can you use it as a springboard to look to the fourth quarter? Because earlier this year on this program, you said that we might get a fourth quarter growth rate sufficiently strong to make the economy almost as strong as it was a year ago. You looking to a strong fourth quarter?
Yeah, I mean, I think, Stu, the key point there is you've got all these sectors swinging back very strong. Consumer spending, business investment, housing, automobiles. Automobiles are up 1,200% in the third quarter. On the other side, we've inventories, stuff that's got to be made to meet all these demands. Inventories are flat bottom. So I think going into Q4 and probably into next year, pending policies and so forth, inventory rebuilding and restocking is the key point. And that looks good. The early returns from some of the Federal Reserve Bank PMIs are showing good manufacturing and good production. So the inventory rebuild, Stu, that's going to drive jobs and activity through the fourth quarter, well through the winter. Inventories are at rock bottom. People have to understand that. That's why I've argued this is a self-sustaining V-shaped recovery.
Okay, let me throw this at you. It is something that might slow us down in the fourth quarter. We've been reporting all morning about the draconian lockdowns that are being enforced in France and Germany, Spain, Italy. Europe's locking down for a month. They're trying to stop the spread of the virus. I got that. But what happens over here? Because we do have a record number of new cases of the virus, and we've got Democrat-run states very eager to impose lockdowns all over again. If they do that, you're not going to get a good fourth quarter.
Well, look, we will see. The increase in the COVID hotspots, particularly the upper Midwest, the upper Northwest, it's a problem. There's no question about it. Fortunately, the fatality rate is very low, even while the case rate has jumped. Now, the President does not want lockdowns. He said this a million times. Our own health experts, the scientists on our virus team, Vice President Biden's bias team, Vice President Pence's virus team, they don't want lockdowns. Lockdowns, will make the cure worse than the problem. We do know how to mitigate in order to contain the virus. We know this. Go back to basics here. Basics are masking and distancing and hygiene, cleaning your hands. Also, I think the scientists are suggesting to us, when you're at home, when you come home for the holidays or whatnot, be careful. Distancing can be very important there. We are testing 1 million a day. We have all the equipment. We know how to help the hospitalization story. So let's mitigate in order to contain the virus. A thoroughgoing shutdown would make matters worse. It would destroy the economy. Frankly, the psychological effects have been proven to be dreadful, so we don't need to go there. Europe, I know they're doing what they're doing. They've got a rough situation over there, but I wish somebody would think it through because, mitigation is a lot better than shutdowns.
That's for sure. Talk to me about the stimulus, if you would. The president says not going to get a stimulus deal until after the election. Does that still hold?
It looks like it, Stu. I mean, strange things are happening now. Speaker Pelosi sends a letter to Secretary Mnuchin. Now, they talk every day for the last 3 months, so she's sending a letter. And then mysteriously, Stu, Politico got the letter before the secretary got the letter, which suggests this is no longer a serious exercise. There's no hope of compromising. The other team is, they're just showboating here. They're stringing us along, tap, 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 tap. Therefore, nothing's going to happen. And I want to say this. It's really too bad. Look, I don't think this V-shaped recovery depends on some gigantic bill. all right, that has as much without COVID. Some of the stuff has nothing to do with COVID or the economy. But there are some areas that we should have helped. We should have repurposed the $135 billion that hadn't been spent for the PPP small business. They could use that money. We should have had a bill, a standalone, to help on unemployment assistance. The president took the leadership on unemployment assistance several months ago, $300 plus $100 from the states, as you know, but it's going to run out. And we need a congressional appropriations to keep it going. The airlines need help. In other words, there's some bread and butter issues that could have been really helped if we had had a deal. We tried. Mnuchin worked as hard as he could to narrow the gap, but now we've just got posturing and showboating. So I think the game's over until after the election.
You know, you missed something out when you were looking at the strong economy. I think you missed out the housing sector.
Yes.
We've got very good pending home sales this morning. We've had very good numbers on demand for new homes and sale of homes, existing homes, new homes. Prices are rising. It strikes me that the housing market is the biggest, probably the best bright spot in the economy at this moment. What do you say?
Well, it's enormous. Look, I'll read you the numbers through the whole GDP report. Housing is up 59%. And consumer spending up 41%. Business equipment investment up 70%. Automobiles, Stu, up 1,200%. I would say housing and autos are leading the charge. They're both pretty good leading indicators of the economy. And that's why I say, again, in terms of forward momentum, we're coming into the fourth quarter very strong. Inventories, you know, we're going to have to build new homes. We're going to have more construction workers with relatively high wages. We're going to have to build lots and lots of new cars. That means more jobs at higher and higher wages. These are the fundamentals of the economy. I reckon with some, you know, any luck and good policies especially, by the end of the winter, maybe early spring, we will have closed the output losses that we suffered through this pandemic contraction. And that's much faster than anybody dreamed possible, just as today's third quarter beat expectations. So this is a good story. We don't want to wreck it. We don't need tax increases. Any good Keynesian would tell you, you don't raise taxes coming out of a pandemic contraction. You don't re-regulate. You don't cut off power from oil and natural gas. I mean, these things don't make any sense at all. And I really think President Trump's, you don't want to change horses in midstream here, okay? You want to stay with the guy that gave you the prosperity in the pre-pandemic and is leading the charge for the V-shaped recovery right now. Let's not experiment with crazy idea. I mean, tax hikes, taking money out of people's pockets, that just doesn't make any sense at all.
You got to remember, Larry, it's not the Keynesians who are in charge, it's the socialists who are in charge on the other side of the fence. Larry Kudlow, time's up. I know you'd love to get out on that one, but thanks for joining us, sir. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Stu. Appreciate it very much.
Got it.